Hello everyone and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Let's have a sweet little transition, shall we? Oosh. Pretty nice that, weren't it? Right, normally it's comments at the end and we haven't had comments for a long time because there's been so much going off with the Tour de France. However, today I thought we'd just take a quick look at a couple of comments that are, well, they're making me smile, so let's check them out. All right, and I want to start with this one from the actual Peter Sagan. Well, that's what his name is on this. Anyway, Chris, been watching every video you put out as soon as I can for 4 months now. Thank you. Subscribed. Thank you. Liked every video and notification bell on. Thank you. And if you've not done the same, do it right now. Follow Peter's lead, okay? But what the f*** is up with you, mate? Julian Alaphilippe doping? I'm sick of you Ineos Sky fanboys trying to ruin cycling. I don't mind Ineos winning every Tour de France. I think they have a great thing going on. But seriously, you all act like you're 4 years old, crying and calling everyone out for doping. Absolute f***ing bullshit. Had to hit the dislike button on this one. Hope you get your act together. Yes, Dad. Sorry, Dad. Listen, how many times do I have to say it? I don't think he's doping. And it's unfair for me to say he is doping when I have a friend in Ineos who I would say is clean if he was doing the same things as Alaphilippe. Do you get that? So I'm not a Sky Ineos fanboy. I have friends in there. I've worked with a couple of people in there. So I have a tendency to like them. But I don't care who wins the Tour de France. I don't care. I'd love to see G win it, but I don't care. All right? Sorted, right? And this next one here is from Dad Bra. Now, Dad Bra is one of the most polite trolls I have ever come across. Very, very polite man. I've had a run-in with him before, but it seems, for some reason, my videos are getting suggested to him again, and he was not too happy about it. More fake news, never gets to any point. I will agree with you on that. I sometimes do struggle to actually get to a point because I tend to go off at tangents a lot of the time. My apologies, Dad Bra. That's not trolling, that's facts, I'm sorry. No full story. So hard to understand in English. Block this guy, but his channel keeps popping up. Angry red-faced emoji. Which is fair enough. And I did say last time, I said, hey mate, that's fine. Do what you need to do, you know, it's fine, cool. I responded by saying simply like, what, I thought you'd blocked me already. What are you doing back here? It's nice that you commented, but what are you doing back here? This was his response. YouTube support worked me through how to block the channel, but it hasn't worked. Getting through all the cracks. The clickbait titles are the best part of the channel. I get sucked in only to get let down by non-factual dribble sourced from Twitter. So there I was, pressing upload on the video, and guess what? Breaking news is happening. Breaking so much so that I've still not even finished my ice cream, but we're going to get into it shortly. Rowe, Tony Martin, both being expelled from the Tour de France. Both road captains of the two biggest teams in the Tour de France, gone. Team Jumbo-Visma and Steven Kruijswijk has lost Tony Martin. G has obviously lost his wingman in Rowe. But what happened? Well, just after the stage, ITV actually spoke to G, and from what he said, it sounded like it was nothing. It was just, it kind of happens all the time. And I have absolutely no doubt that G thought exactly that it was just a little bit of argy-bargy, a little bit of jostling for position, but nothing more serious or sinister than that. But then after the stage, we find out that they've both been expelled. So I'm going to head inside now. I'm going to join Cam, and we're going to decipher exactly what's happened and find out if this ruling is a little bit OTT or whether the judges have made the right decision in expelling both these riders. All right, we are now in the, I was going to say studio, but it's not the studio, it's just the chalet. I'm joined by Cameron Jeffers, professional racer, with a professional opinion on this, way more than me. Right, Rowe and Tony Martin.
Yeah.
We've watched it a couple of times, but we're going to watch it again now. And I think this is where the beef started, right?
So no, I think it started before this. So the second half of the video is the first incident.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. Okay, so we'll play it through here. So this is what most people saw on TV first. Tony Martin, clearly, I don't know whether he's trying to push him off the road or just...
He's just trying to squeeze him out, I think.
Yeah. So is that not... Hey, whoa, right, just pause it there and go back. So you can just see Luke there reaching over
I think he grabs his neck, doesn't he?
Yeah, so it's not a punch, is it? Because
No, it's like
people were
a
claiming that it was a punch, but yeah, his fist closed there though. Look,
yeah.
but there was no like. What do you think to that?
I think it's somewhere between a punch and trying to grab his
A
neck.
bit like this.
Yeah,
Not really a punch, but like
yeah, like kind of giving him a bit of a shove and
yeah.
warning him that he's going to punch him if he keeps doing this.
Do you think that right there is an expellable offence?
No. I think we saw a similar situation in the Tour a few years ago when someone tried to block Chad Hager.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Gianni Moscon, he punched
Yeah,
someone as well,
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
he? Did he get DQ'd or
yeah,
did he get fined?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I,
Fine line, isn't it?
yeah, it's a fine line. I think like racing incidents happen, and I believe that it was reported that they came across the line later on and they were shaking hands and kind
Yeah.
of talking to each other. So they settled any beef. So this is the first initial incident, which I don't see absolutely anything wrong with this. It's a simple racing maneuver where Luke Rowe is trying to move up positions and he's just squeezing himself in.
Well, let's play it.
This happens in races in racing in the UK every weekend. It's just a simple case of fighting for position. I think they're coming into the bottom of the climb here, and I think everyone's a little bit nervous as to what Quick Step and Alaphilippe are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone just wants to be in that first position. Like it's a simple racing maneuver. So my opinion is that Tony Martin shouldn't have retaliated. It was kind of daft of him to retaliate the way he did by trying to push Luke off the road, but then similarly, Luke shouldn't have retaliated the way he did as well.
Yeah, so this move here, so Luke's been on the outside. He's trying to get the second wheel here, and he literally, like you say, he just pushes Tony Martin into a position where Tony Martin comes off that wheel, and that's just a racing incident. That's
yeah, but look who's behind him, Geraint Thomas. So he's trying to bring. He's obviously got a job to bring his leader to the front of the bunch. So that's what he's trying to do.
So then, obviously, after that, this is what happens.
Yeah, the following corner, I think.
Tony Martin. Bit of buffering here.
Yep.
Is what happens, and that is pretty dangerous though. That could have ended.
Especially with the fans at the side of the road as well.
What, you mean this guy here? Hey, you got on telly.
Yes, lad.
But yeah, you're right. It could have hurt a fan. So, and then ultimately they got disqualified and fined for it. Docked 50 UCI points. Fined 1,000 Swiss francs. Is it? Do you think that's a fair result from what happened there?
No, absolutely not.
Are you just saying that because of how it's going to affect the tour?
No, I think that a slap on the wrist and 1,000 Swiss francs fine would have been enough.
More, yeah, like a bit like a yellow card. Like, hey lads, you're on your last warning.
Yeah.
Do it again and you will be out. Because there's obviously been nothing like that has happened throughout the rest of the tour. At least no one's seen it.
Yeah.
So, like you say, a warning is such a pivotal point in the tour as well. Do you think the UCI? Because people are going to say it. Do you think the UCI have taken that stand because it's going to help Thibaut Pinot? It's going to help De Koning Quick Step in it.
I'm not willing to speculate on that matter, Chris.
But it's definitely going to play into their hands now.
Of course, as the two strongest teams have lost, arguably the two strongest riders. We've seen, Tony Martin has probably spent the most time out of anyone else on the whole of the race on the front of the bunch, controlling the breakaways and bringing the breakaways back.
Yeah.
And of course, Luke Rowe is one of the strongest sort of diesels in Team Ineos, so I think it's going to affect the race. But yeah, I mean, it's a racing incident. They're probably 3 or 4 hours into a stage. It's about 40 degrees here in France today.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot. These boys, these things happen. No one's got hurt, have they?
Well, I guess that's the thing. Someone could have potentially got hurt, and I think if they had, then you bring the rule book down on them and you say that was way out of order.
Yeah.
But they got away with it, and like you say, they've been riding for 3 weeks now, 2.5 weeks. They're tired. They're trying to do the best job they can for their leader, and tempers are going to raise and fly. So, they controlled it pretty well. And like you said, they shook hands afterwards. When the TV spoke to G about it, he was like, "Oh, it's nothing." And Luke, by the looks of his interview as well, when he said he came over the line, shook his hand, and that was that. So with the interviews, I've not heard from Tony Martin, but Luke Rowe, when he came over the line, he said he'd shook his hand. And then in the interview, he was smiling. Obviously, he'd not found out about the disqualification, but neither him nor G thought it would have actually ended up that way. Anyway.
And it has.
Let us know your comments down below.
Should they have been disqualified, or should they have just been given off with a warning and maybe a fine?
Carry on with the new show, Chris. You're doing a great job, isn't he?
No.
It's not really a troll, is it? It's cold hard facts. I'm sorry, Deborah. Hopefully you're not watching this because you blocked the channel by now, but appreciate the support in the comments. Right, let's move on to actual stories within the cycling industry now. And Chris Froome is back, but not as we know it. He took to Instagram today to post the first video or picture or evidence of him actually riding a bike. Singing along to a song that I don't know so it doesn't get copyrighted. Singing over this song so it doesn't get copyrighted. Da, da, da. It's Chris Froome and a wheelchair, yeah! Shall we speculate and analyse it? Yeah, come on. And before we start, right, listen, I think his crash was genuine. I think he genuinely crashed. There are other people who don't think that. There are people, my sources, that don't think that he crashed. One of my sources actually spoke to me today and said, why is it in black and white? Don't you think those scars look like makeup? And I'm just saying, no, I don't. I genuinely don't. But it's good to see him back on the bike, pedaling away, at least with his left foot. At least he's doing something. And he took the time to put his heart rate monitor on and his cycling shorts to actually go through it. Do you know what was nice as well? To see so many supportive comments on his Instagram post. There was no trolls there having a little dig at him and complaining. It was all really nice and lots of support for Chris Froome. So it's great to see him back on a bike, albeit one-legged. Soon he'll be back to two legs. Soon he'll be back to beating everybody. Alaphilippe back in the headlines again, but this time his boss. And this headline coming out of Cycling News: anyone suspecting Alaphilippe of doping in the Tour de France doesn't have a brain. And that's coming straight from Patrick Lefevere, the Deceuninck Quick-Step boss. When asked about the topic following Quick-Step's rest day press conference in Nîmes on Monday, Lefevere hit back. Someone who is tested every evening and who often does blood tests in the morning, if someone thinks he's suspicious, that says a lot about the people who are saying that. It means their intelligence is lower than their feet, and certainly not in their head. Lefevere added, "It doesn't annoy me. How can I fight against people who don't have a brain? I'm never going to stoop so low to argue against people like that." Right. Oh, sorry to interrupt. This show is amazing, by the way. But I'm not too sure if you've already done it. But if not, I'll do it just in case. I just want to give a shout out to my partners, our partners in effect, Wahoo, who have made this possible. I'm just holding a bolt in my hand for product placement, just to let you know that you can follow the link down in the description if you've ever considered buying anything Wahoo related, Wahoo kicker, bolt, ticker, cadence sensor, whatever it might be. If you follow the link down in the description to the Wahoo website, if you purchase anything, then they know that you came from here, which makes this channel look amazing in Wahoo's eyes. So go and do it. If you want a pink bolt like this, do it now. Buy one. You don't even need to tell them Pritchard sent you because they'll already know. Anyway, that's this segment done. Wahoo. Wahoo. In other news now, Wout van Aert has been released from hospital in Po. He's been transferred over to another hospital where observations are still going to be made on him. However, he did speak to Velon in one of his first interviews since the crash. And it's quite a frank and open discussion about exactly what happened.
Dan gebeurt er heel erg veel. Het eerste wat jij hoort is, kijk niet naar je been. Wat gebeurt er?
Ja, ik werd op de zijkant van het parcours gelegd en het was super warm daar op het asfalt, dat kan ik me herinneren. En ja, het leek bij mij wel een eeuwigheid te duren tot er eigenlijk hulp kwam. Dat was misschien helemaal niet zo, maar dan duurde het minuten lang. My YouTube recommendation for today is Lawrence Carpenter's video at the British National Criterium Championships. If you've not seen that, if you've not been aware of it, then check out the last 100 meters of this race.
Isaac Munday on the front from Richardson's trick, quickly followed by, Munday takes his fill at the pedal.
I was saying then I've got to ring Connor up and pikey one of his national jerseys now. So
and the helmet and all
get
everything.
Get all the trimming. So yeah, I'll wear it in Sheffield and I'm buzzing. Yeah.
How was the circuit, just quickly?
Oh, it's probably one of the toughest in Britain, I'd say. Obviously you've got that climb, but you run onto it in a dead turn, and it's not a little ring climb. It's still a big ring, but right up the block. So yeah, it's horrible.
Right, well deserved.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
as much as Isaac deserved that for that stunning ride and that solo breakaway before Joey caught him, Joey deserves that so much. He's been through so much. Joey's been through, since his Tour de Yorkshire crash, Joey Walker has been through so much trying to get back to full fitness. In fact, his mate Gabs Khalil tweeted this out. So proud of Joey Wack. He never really opens up about how his crash at the Tour of Britain affected him last year, but his confidence took a hell of a knock. Now he's going to be the classiest rider on the crit scene, rolling round in his stripy jersey. White shorts a must. Kiss. So again, you know, we spoke about Rowe and Dennis, we spoke about Jack Bobridge now, and Joey Walker as well. You don't know what's going on in these riders' heads. All we see is them for a short period of time on the bike, and that's kind of it. So you never really get an insight into what's actually going on in these riders' minds. For him to be able to ride in his home criterium in Sheffield tonight in those stripes is just, hopefully he's going to take his career exactly where it needs to go to. I'm so pleased, I'm so proud of him. So well done, Joey. And oh yeah, by the way, go and check that video out from Lawrence. And now before we move on to the Tour de France, for all you Mark Cavendish fans out there, he is back racing. He's going to be taking part in his stage race in Italy, and this is the first time we're actually going to be able to see what kind of form he is in after the announcement that he wouldn't be taking part in the Tour de France. So let's hope he's maintained that form so he can prove to the owner of Team Dimension Data that he should have been in that team all along. Fingers crossed for Cav. I hope he takes a few wins there. Elia Viviani took 3 stage wins last year, so hopefully Cav can at least repeat that. But it wasn't his first time back on a bike in a competitive manner. No, he took part in the Isle of Man Grand Fondo last week with a star-studded lineup of Mark Cavendish, Cal Crutchlow. Who else was that? Oh yeah, Mark Christian and Elliot Baxter. So stage 17 was ultimately a quiet affair, or at least so I thought, because as I was editing the video I was looking up every now and again at the TV and I found out that not a great deal was happening. That was until I received my notes from my epic researcher back home, Victor. So today, stage 17 deserves a Victor recap. Take it away, Vic. Narrated by yours truly, worded by Vic. Stage 17, Point de Gare to Gap, 200 kilometers. This stage has seen many legendary battles in the past, one of the most used finishes in Tour history. I'm pretty sure. Jose Babalocchi crashing out in 2003, Thor Hushoff winning an epic 2-up sprint against Edvald Boasson Hagen, Peter Sagan's epic descent in 2015, and Rui Costa winning in 2013 solo. This is the 17th time the Tour has finished in the town of Gap. 1950 was the first time. Insane stat right there. 2015, the most recent time finishing into Gap. With 15.9 kilometers to go, Daniel Oss tries to attack. Different riders are attacking now in the front group. Not very good for the front group as they will start to cat and mouse. The second group could come back because of this. Ben King attacking multiple times. GVA looks keen AF. Kasper Asgreen also trying to attack. They're clearly trying to get rid of Matteo Trentin. 6 men left in the breakaway now as a flurry of attacks. Asgreen, Izagirre, GVA, Trentin, Oss. Matteo Trentin attacks and goes solo with 13.8k to go. Very surprising. Trentin has a healthy gap of 26 seconds. Trentin is flying. Trentin's descending really quickly, taking some risks, but nothing crazy. Jumbo-Visma and Team Ineos, big beef, riding into each other. What the moment? Maybe something we don't know. It was Tony Martin versus Luke Rowe. They looked angry at each other. 1k to go now and Trentin will win easily. Big celebration incoming, hopefully. Here's a little fact for you. He doesn't ride to power or heart rates according to this, so super impressive. 5 out of 10 for celebration though. Grupo Compacto. Alaphilippe lost his sunglasses and that was all to go at stage 17. Moving on to stage 18 now. It is the finish up the Galibier. And my friends in the chalet, Tim Fulford and the man that is Cameron Jeffers, are going to be heading up there. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of an insight into what the atmosphere is like on tomorrow's show. If not, we'll make sure that that's in Friday. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Now if you've not done already, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button just below me. If you want to check out yesterday's video, why don't you just click right up there. And if you want to check out the best video from this channel, it's right there. I'm going to go and dry my butt crack now because I can feel sweat seeping into it. Until tomorrow.